Hey, welcome to the Ultra Young Podcast. This is episode 2. I'm here with Colby Paul. We are actually re-recording this one.
Yep.
Tell me why we're doing this again.
First time we recorded it, I really didn't come into it with any notes. I kind of was just winging it, and I didn't get to tell all that I wanted to tell. So I feel like if you're following this journey with me, I should get everything out there pretty much.
Okay, so we'll probably cut back into our other one that we recorded to show all the things of like, yeah, I didn't wake up. I like all the things that you wanted to get rid of. We'll try to put into a little blooper reel or whatever.
Yeah, you guys will definitely get a fun story.
So we're talking nutrition. We're talking about training. So early on, you've done a half marathon, and then doing a 32-mile run. We want to talk about the training that went into that, your nutrition, and let's start with the half marathon. Like, tell us your story of how you got ready for that, how you trained for it, and how it went.
As a total, I think I ran 3 times and never over 3 miles at a time.
And
for the half marathon.
For the half marathon.
Yeah,
so this was more of just like, hey, let's run this. And
yeah. And I was like, I was athletic enough that I believed, yeah, I can finish.
Yeah.
So that was the half marathon. The haunted half definitely wasn't a milestone it wasn't a big goal I set. It was just kind of all right, I'll do it.
I'll go do it. Okay. So half marathon, little to no training. Nutrition was probably just regular high school kid nutrition. You didn't even think about it. So when you moved from that and your dad invited you to do the 32 mile or the 50K, what changed, if anything?
Well, nutrition did not change at all. I'm a picky eater at heart, and that just kept going. I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, didn't even have the race in mind. My training did bump up. I would run more often and a little longer, but not nearly as often as I should have.
Okay.
I cheated pretty hardcore when it came to training. My dad would come home and be like, hey, did you run this morning? Yeah. Great 8-mile run this morning. And I didn't even get out of my bed.
Oh, no. It's the whole thing of like, hey, did you clean your room? Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm only hurting myself saying that. It's like he doesn't care. I run or not. I'm the one who should be caring.
And were you 15 or 16 when you did that?
I was 16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So a 16-year-old kid, like your very first ultra, like that's super young for anybody to be running an ultra. And do you feel like you went into it without proper knowledge?
Yeah. I went into it just like, same as the half marathon. I'll just get it done.
I'll just do it.
I had the same mindset with the 50K as I did with the half marathon.
It's coming up. Oh.
And if that doesn't tell you that I was a 16-year-old, what does?
Yeah, that's funny.
So bad. And it hit me hard. I was like, holy cow. Doing the race, I mean, if it wasn't for my dad, I wouldn't have finished.
Okay.
And it was just, it beat me down. It was like, that's what happens when you don't train and you don't take your nutrition serious.
So you say you bumped up your training from the half marathon, which was pretty much non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
Looking through now, like with an outside perspective, some honest thoughts, like what was your training like, let's say an average week getting ready for that ultra marathon?
For the first 50K, it was like maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And at best, I was doing a 10-mile run.
Okay.
If I really felt like it and I really wanted to, I could do 10 miles. But usually it would be just go out there for 5 miles and come back after school.
Yeah.
And which was just weak. What would happen is I'd be running and I'd just tell myself, oh, you just did 3 miles. You're good. You're good for 32 miles.
Yeah.
Like, how dumb is that? I
It's
can't
naive.
even imagine
I don't
it.
think it's dumb at all. I think it's just a lack of understanding. 16 years old doing that. And then with the nutrition from that point, like you finish your 50K. Your dad pushes you through it.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell yourself that you're never going to do it again.
Oh, yeah. I was like, everyone asked, they're like, oh, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's the only one I'm ever going to do.
I'm never doing it again.
Never having it again. And then fast forward a year later, Dead Horse Point Ultra comes. I'm signed up for it because me and my dad was like, once again, hey, this race is coming up. Want to do it? Sure. I've done one before. I can do it. And you'd think, since I struggled so much in the first one,
Yeah.
that I knew just train more.
Yeah.
Nope. My mind was like, you've done a 50K. You don't even need to train as much as you did.
Yeah.
And it was,
you were over prepared.
yeah, I was like, what? I thinking back on it, I'm like, what was I was like, no, don't say that to yourself.
Okay. So you learned a lot from your first one, but didn't implement any of that learning into doing your second ultra.
Nope.
So after your second ultra, things really started to like come together with
Yeah.
2 ultras under your belt, a half marathon, some lack of training. You finished that second ultra. What's your thought process at this point?
Yeah, those are fun. Never doing those again.
Again, saying
That's
you're
pretty
never
much
gonna
what
do
it
it.
was. And then you push forward to like now, and I was just kind of like signing up for the 50 miler. I was like, this is something that is just a hard challenge that I will have to. It's not something I can just do even with bad training. Like, this is something I have to push myself and show like solo responsibility
Yeah.
to get ready for. And I did. Like, it's full night and day training from the 50K to the 50 mile.
Yeah. So in that training for the 50K, you are now holding yourself responsible. Probably less accountability to your parents, to your dad saying like, yes, I ran. Now you know, like I've got to run, and you've got that experience. So heading toward the 50-mile race, let's talk about a weekly insight into your week.
Yeah, so we have a week of training. I have a base goal of let's do 50 miles. So that would usually consist of I'd rest 2 days. I'd always rest a Sunday, and I'd usually rest a Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday because those are days I work.
Yeah.
And when I have work, it's after school, which means I don't have time to run after school, so I have to get up in the morning.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is, if I had a strengths and weaknesses category, weakness is getting up early to run.
Yeah. And just to kind of break it down, like you start class at 7:45 in the
Yep.
morning. You've got a full load of 8 classes. Every teacher thinks that their topic is the most important. They give you homework. Then you go to work how many times? 3 times a week?
3 times a week.
3 times a week
yeah,
to
3
keep
hours.
that moving. At Qualtree.
Yep.
Shout out to Qualtree.
Yeah, following through on the tradition of working at Qualtree.
Oh, that's great.
Gotta love it.
So when all of that's put together, you've also got responsibilities to your friends. Like you need to be a teenager, hang out, and then you've got other like religious responsibilities. So many things packed in there. Like most kids are overwhelmed with just the thought of school, friends, family, and not even adding work to it. How were you able to like smash all that in to be able to make it work? You say you woke up early, but like you had to get up pretty early to get a
Yep.
10-mile run in before school.
Yeah, if I woke up in the morning, my alarm was set 4:45 in the morning because that gave me time to get up, get ready, go out there, run. I'd usually, if it was a morning, I'd run about 8 miles, get back, shower, get breakfast, go to school.
So you're
That-
starting school when most people are just starting their day.
Yep, that all goes to bed. That all happens before 7:45, 4:45 to 7:45, and that's how I start my morning. And then that's why I love days I don't have work
Yeah.
because I just it's kind of a rest day in a way. I get to wake up, go to school, I get home, I can kind of just relax a little, and then I can go on my run, and I can usually do about 10 to 12 miles on a day I don't have school.
Yeah, which is fun to think like that feels like a rest, even though you're
Mm-hmm.
putting in 4 to 5 more miles than you would in the morning.
And
So
like you said, there's so much stuff. You think running is like just another responsibility, but in a way it's like meditation almost.
Yeah.
Like it's a time that when you're just I'm out running, it's like, all right, everything's clear. I just have my music. I'm relaxed, really tired, but
Yeah.
also relaxed. So it's nice in a way.
yeah, I mean, when I train, I feel like the first half mile or whatever, you're still in that mode of like you remember how warm your bed was
Yep.
and how nice it was, and like why am I doing this? But then after a little bit, you're just in that moment. So that's fun. So do you listen to music as you go? Do you kind of stay in your own head, or what do you do?
Yeah, I listen to music. I love listening to music. It always just kind of, when I run, music amplifies whatever my emotion is. So if I'm pumped up and I put on a pump up song, I'm like, bring on the 100-miler right now.
Let's do
I'm
this.
ready.
So what's your playlist? Like, what's your, let's say your top 3 artists that you listen to?
Top 3 artists. Well, numero uno. It's the one I passed. It's the one I crossed the 50 line in. Britney Spears.
That was not what I was expecting. Britney Spears.
If you ever need motivation to run, put on some Britney Spears and just go. It helps me.
Okay, I have to ask, like, what song was it from Britney Spears?
There's two.
If it was "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time,"
There's two.
We're ending this thing right now.
It's "Oops, I Did It Again" and "Toxic." If I listen to "Toxic," I can run a 3-minute mile. It's just, I mean, everyone's got music's relative to everyone. And
yes,
there we go.
and I was profiling you, and I was trying to think of like what type of music would you be listening to, whether it's Kanye, Kendrick Lamar, or some sort of like rock and roll. I even like ventured into the country artists. I was like trying to figure out where you are.
It could
but,
happen.
Like, Britney Spears was not who I thought you were going to listen to. And "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" was like her breakout song.
Yeah.
And then "Toxic" was her like break into the,
is like the big.
oh, I'm Britney Spears.
Yeah.
I'm not the perfect girl.
I'm Colby Paul, and I'm the perfect runner.
Okay, so we hit number 1, and I don't want to know anything else about it.
That's
So
all you need to know.
Let's just leave it at that. So in your training, you listen to music, you get out early, you're looking at your nutrition. So moving into the 50-mile, and let's actually jump to your 100-mile race. Like your 50-mile is just training for that 100.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? What's your plan for nutrition, not only during the race, but like prep going up to the race? Like, are you going to be eating as many donuts as you've been eating?
Donut Fridays are out the window until March 13th. I had my last Donut Friday the Friday before my 50, and I promised myself, you cannot go to Daylight Donuts until you've done a 100-miler. And I'm sticking to it, which is,
That's
in my book,
impressive.
it's pretty impressive.
All right. So when you finish your big race, you're going to make some posts on your Instagram pages with hashtag Britney Spears Toxic /Daylight Donuts Donut Friday.
Yep, you will see a post of me at Daylight Donuts the day after my 100. And I want to jump back to the music because
Nope.
Yeah, we
Nope.
got to make one
No.
because if you follow the Instagram, you'll see it's Britney Spears 1 and ABBA is number 2.
Oh, wow.
Because those two, I mean, I'm not I'm not good at giving tips,
Yeah.
but those are my tips. You listen to those two artists, you can run whatever distance you want to run.
Okay. Britney Spears, ABBA. Okay, now I'm intrigued. What's your third artist that you have in your rotation?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, I can't even like put a finger on one single artist. Christmas music during Christmas time was a huge motivator, but it doesn't anymore.
Colby Paul.
People find their motivation everywhere.
Yes, they
And there
do.
we go. That's
There's somebody for everyone.
Yep.
There's a song for everyone.
There's a song for every single person.
Oh, you may be
gotta
the
love
most wholesome person I've ever met.
it. Yeah.
So, I guess with this nutrition and training piece, we can kind of conclude the episode with what are you going to be doing for that 100-mile race? And full disclosure, we're jumping back. You've already done the 50 miles.
Yes. 50 miles completed.
But we're not going to give anything away.
Nope.
But as far as the training for your 50-miler and then moving to the 100-miler, we've talked about it. But your nutrition during the races, what do you do? The 50-miler, no pacers, nobody there to help you
Nope,
out. The
it's all me.
100-mile, you've got pacers. And we've talked about what they're going to be doing. But, like, what is your nutrition plan for that 100-mile race?
It's going to be, I have to have a mix of gels because, like I said earlier, I'm picky. So
Yeah.
it's tough to find things that are really good for me and I enjoy eating because you have to enjoy at least a little bit what you're eating. So there's certain gels that I'm okay to take. Smarties are a huge help just to get in,
A quick,
just get
straight
energy.
sugar.
Yeah, just get sugar and energy. And then potatoes. Potatoes are going to be huge. I'm going to down some potatoes.
Just a cooked potato in tinfoil.
Yep. And just, I'll be eating a crap ton of those and just kind of sugar, and then drinking water and getting electrolytes.
Okay.
I'll have a water packet and electrolytes
And
packet.
do you have like a time period that this is happening every single time that your pacers know, like an alarm goes off and says you need to be eating, or is it gauged by how you're feeling?
Through the first 30, it'll be kind of gauged how I'm feeling. And then with the pacers, it'll be, I need a gel or two
Yeah.
through each, like about a gel a mile,
Okay.
pretty much, is
So
kind
they're
of what
gonna
I'm going to be looking
keep
at.
you going.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a very impressive thing that you're doing, pushing to become such a young runner. So, is the end goal the 100 miler, or do you have aspirations to do another 100 miler, or is it like that's the end all? Like, I've hit the 100 miles, I am good, I'm done.
So I was talking to someone about this because they were asking, like, are you going to be doing more races? And I don't know. I don't see any more races in my future in a way, because like with a 50K, it's more about your time. How you
Yeah.
do. Like when I look at an ultra marathon, I look at the distance and see, I want to push myself to see if I can go that far. So if I've done 100, that's almost like my peak.
Yeah.
So 50K, what I will still do is run outdoors. Like
Yeah,
that's something I love and just enjoy doing. So during the summer, if I see a mountain and I'm like, oh, I want to get to the top of that, I can do that. And I'll really enjoy that. But a race I don't see any races in my future as of right now, but I'm impulsive.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
After every single race, I'm never doing
Yeah.
that again. Never doing that again. So, well, that concludes episode 2
Yep.
of the Ultra Young podcast. We're excited for you guys to be following this. You can follow us on social media if you want to give the
_ Ultra Young. Yeah, the Ultra Young podcast. It's
Ultra Young podcast.
I post updates on my runs and just pretty much the daily life of me and an ultra young runner.
Ultra Young. Okay, thanks for
Awesome.
being a part of this.